Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the GSL up and downs, and we have a couple of awesome matches coming up. The games so far have been pretty interesting, and they leave us with an interesting situation in the group as well. But we are waiting for the next game to start, and this is going to be Slayer's Boxer against StarTale's Squirtle.
Yeah, the map is going to be Crossfire, and we're going to take a look at some of our current scores. As you guys can see, alternating there until Genius broke the curve. He broke the pattern, man. He won on the left side. But yeah, Boxer winning over Tasia first up. Genius beating ASD. And yeah, here's the better breakdown. Genius 2-0 so far. And everyone else 1-1 except for poor Cezanne, who's down in 6th place. 0-2, but he's still got time. Got a lot more games coming up tonight.
In a group with the 6 players, you can afford to have 2 losses, but from now on he has to win every single game.
Yeah.
He wants to have a chance to advance to Code S. I have to admit I feel a little bit naked today. Usually I have my piece of paper and sheet of paper right over here with all the statistics, a couple of data on the players and everything. And today I don't. And every
you even have a T-shirt on, man, instead of like a button-down shirt.
Lately I always.
I'm like, also you don't have any hair. I don't know.
You and me after the cast outside.
Alright, so
men are where? Men are low!
As we mentioned earlier, we've got Boxer versus Squirtle now. The map is Crossfire. Squirtle maybe not feeling so confident in PvT, going for a 2-gate proxy against Tasia. Will we see him do the same against Boxer?
Look at the killer. look at that expression in Boxer's face.
Oh man, he's ready.
Like, you're going down.
He is going down, maybe. But
or he is sleepy. One of the two.
One of the two will win this game. Unless it's a draw, let's find out which situation will occur here at the GSL up and down matches. It's like what I listen to when I'm ladder.
We are on Crossfire at the bottom left. In the red, the Emperor. The player for Team Slayers, it is
Slayers Boxer.
The Emperor. Building a Spidey boat in his middle line. That is a really nice drawing.
But who is that supposed to be?
I'm not sure. I looked at it for a minute. I looked away because I thought it was going to be gone, but then it wasn't. I only saw it was at Code S on the right. Up here at the top right. Barely sneak that intro in. Squirtle. We'll see if he's got his sunglasses on in this game.
Let's see about that. This time he is not heading for his opponent's main base.
Something about Daegu.
That's one heavy
Oh,
guy.
I think he said he came from Daegu, which is a city in Korea, far away from Seoul. Esports, hashtag Team Liquid, hashtag StarCraft 2.
se2.fe. Basically, it's probably the IRC channel. I don't know. It's just the guys from Finland that traveled over to Korea. It's pretty cool. Already asked him earlier, guys, you missed Alfie. Why are you here now?
I came from England to see the Emperor, balance Terran, balance Boxer. I don't know what the third sign said. I can't read that fast.
So we have a couple of guys from England. We have people from Sweden in the studio right now. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, even having it looks like one of the fans coming from Daegu, coming from outside of Seoul, all the way to Seoul just to watch Boxer play. That's pretty awesome. Well, looks like we're going to see a gasless 1 barracks expand from Boxer. A little bit risky, but you know, on a map like this, I think it's pretty reasonable. Squirtle scouts this and takes his second gas as a reply. Interesting, most players would just go for a 1-gate expand after seeing this, but Squirtle's got something else in mind. It may even be some type of Void Ray type all-in, because Void Ray all-ins are quite strong on this map, although Boxer did not wall off. It makes the Void Ray all-in a lot weaker. But remember, there are backdoor rocks on this map, and that's why we've seen a lot of players like Alicia, for example, is one I know has done Void Railings on this map multiple times. You can charge up on the rocks, you have 2 areas of attack, it's very hard to defend.
Boxer's getting gas right now, and so far Squirtle is just happy to stay in his main base, but maybe we'll see him go for some kind of shenanigans. I have to admit that Boxer with a 1-1 really has to put some effort into winning this game. It's not an easy group. You have 6 players in that group, and therefore it's really, really hard to advance to Code S.
Definitely so, and interestingly, Squirtle actually made his third pylon inside of his main base, so we're not going to see any type of falling from him. In fact, he's going to go one gate into robotics off one base. Now, there are several different ways that this can turn out to be really good for Squirtle. He could actually try to do an Immortal on, which has become a lot more popular recently, especially because people are figuring out that, well, Immortals actually just kill everything really quickly, especially with that new range upgrade. But again, that really works out very well against someone who's walling off, and in this case, Boxer is not.
What I really don't like about Protoss players lately is they get the Immortals, as you said, with the new range upgrade, it's really strong, but most Protoss players actually neglect to target fire with the Immortals.
That's very true.
They're just part of the army, and they concentrate more on sentries and Stalker Micro, and the Immortals in the back end up firing at Marines while the Marauders deal the damage.
Yeah, or not even firing at all, crab walking behind the army, doing things like that. Well, it looks like Squirtle is actually just going to be doing a gate-robo-gate span and making the Observer first here. This is going to put him really far behind economically. I don't think we're going to see him do anything crazy like one-base Colossus, but I'm really curious to see what his plan is here. It looks like he's going to go down and make the Nexus now, but man, Boxer is way ahead economically. Already has his Marauders on the way, Concussive Shells on the way as well, and there's going to be the Nexus.
Harvester count is even right now. The Nexus being built for Squirtle, while Boxer just now through his command center down to the natural. And is going for Marauders and Concussive Shell right now.
He's got actually more units than Squirtle even. He's going to put some pressure on Squirtle. Squirtle's going to have to be careful. He might not be able to hold that Nexus.
Yeah, especially with Concussive Shell, and he has a lot of Stalkers right now. Let me have a quick look at the unit count. He has 2 Stalkers and 4 Sentries, and Boxer continues on producing Marauders with Concussive Shell. Is trying to walk up that ramp, but force fields are just so strong on a Crossfire. There are so many ramps that you can block with the force fields, especially in the early stages of the game. Therefore, Boxer is retreating now. He knows that there is no chance that he is going up that ramp without stint.
I really like, actually, that Squirtle decides to hold that ramp. If he had decided to try to hold the area around his Nexus, he probably would not have been able to do that, but he went to the area where it's only a 1 force field ramp and held there instead. I really like that choice. He would have been in trouble otherwise. 2 bunkers up for Boxer to hold off any pressure.
You're perfectly right about that. The force fields, he needs to use them where they are the strongest, and that's their ramp positions. I was a little bit surprised that he doesn't get 1 unit at the Xanaga Watchtower, and now Boxer takes that position, knows exactly where his opponent is currently using his army.
And Squirtle knows that there is some unit on the Watchtower, he just does not know what at this point. Doesn't want to get too close there because he could find himself trapped. The same could be said of Boxer though. If Squirtle puts down some good forces, he can trap some of those units, but the fact of the matter is Boxer just has so much more of the units, that wouldn't be a good idea for Squirtle.
Boxer's waiting right now for the combat shield and a stim as well. There is, by the way, the Observer that's hovering just next to Boxer's army, so Squirtle is aware of the army positioning of Boxer.
Yeah, he sent that over there very smartly to see what's going on. Now Squirtle doing a great job scouting with the probe, just making sure that he doesn't have any additional units. He's trying to find out, are you reinforcing right now or not? Are you taking a hit to third base?
Hallucination upgrade.
Yeah, very interesting. He's made a decent amount of Immortals. He may try to hallucinate some Immortals and do an attack. I don't think so. It's probably just going to be for scouting, but we have seen crazy things with hallucinations in the past.
Seen a lot of crazy stuff with the hallucinations. Maybe he's going for some kind of sneaky attack that he tries to trick his opponent. +1 is now en route as well. Combat shield done. And Boxer getting a third right now at the bottom right. Squirtle needs to do some damage, or at least take down that third. I don't think that he scouted it just yet, but he's walking towards the bottom.
Ooh, a pylon going up for Squirtle. He is going to do some sort of attack with this hallucination by the looks of things. Boxer sees the pylon though. The probe may be taken out. Nice targeting down the probe first. That means no forward pylon for Squirtle. That's really huge. He does have another probe kind of out somewhere on the map, but he's not using it. He actually is just going to go home now by the looks of things. Not going to commit to that attack.
I really would have liked to see how that attack would actually have worked, because as you already said, I don't think that he only got the hallucination for scouting reasons. He wanted to do some kind of attack, probably hallucinating some of those Immortals, and that would have been quite a nice fight.
I was a little bit interested to see how that went as well. I've done some hallucination play myself, and in most cases it does not work using combat units as hallucination. Immortals are a specific case where it can work because the hardened shields still apply, but this pylon is being placed to spot. Look at that timing. Wow. Spots the drops, and that's going to trigger Squirtle to go home.
That works out perfectly well. At the bottom right, the expansion is done, by the way, so we have Boxer now on 3 bases. Needs the orbital upgrade, obviously, and is now getting the plus... he's getting the +1 attack upgrade, but at the same time already building his armory and engineering base, so that the timings work perfectly, so he can start with the +2 and +2 attack, +1 armor. But we don't have Forges just yet for Squirtle.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit disappointed in Squirtle's choice of going Colossi as well in this case, because he knows his opponent's already got Medivacs out, so Vikings are going to be obviously the next step. He's still producing Colossi. Now, Boxer hasn't started Viking production yet, nor has he seen the Colossi, but it's going to be very easy for him just to make that switch. He's not going to be caught with his pants down or anything like that from these Colossi.
He's supply blocking Squirtle for a few seconds by killing that pylon, so the drop is still active, is still roaming the map, trying to spot positions where Squirtle places down pylons and taking them out. +2 attack is being researched right now, as well as the +1 armor upgrade. And at the bottom right, we have the orbital command. He is now on 3 bases and slowly but steadily pulling ahead in supplies.
Very true. And I have to say, Squirtle he's using those pylons as spot for drops so that he can catch them in time, but while doing that is not even really moving out on the base, so he's just given Boxer the opportunity to take that base for free, essentially, and a second starport going up for Boxer as he starts Viking production.
And I'm a little bit surprised to see that Squirtle is now adding a Templar Archive as well. He's doing a lot of tech on 2 bases, and therefore he has to neglect the Forge upgrades.
We may see Squirtle hallucinate some Colossi here. Remember, he's still got that hallucination ability, and Boxer does not have very many Vikings out, just 2 popping at this very moment, so this is going to be a tough fight for Boxer, even with his large army. He's actually just a little bit larger of an army, but the upgrades right now, +1 for Boxer. Squirtle with no upgrades whatsoever, +2 and +1 armor about to finish for Boxer. He's getting weapons level 1 on the way as well.
Squirtle doesn't even have the Forge, and usually you have that timing window where a Protoss player will be way ahead in his upgrades and can be attacked. But right now it's exactly the opposite. Squirtle without upgrades at all, and Boxer is able to shut down that attempt to get a 3rd base at the right side of the map. Well, Squirtle now is adding Storm Tech. Ghosts are in the army of Boxer already, so he will be able to get EMPs. Oh, dropping just picking them up. The IU Medivac is en route once again.
Of course, man. She's the best Medivac.
Picking up guys left and right.
Well, Boxer's up 30 supply right now. Squirtle's still stuck on 2 bases. Storm's about to finish. He's warping a few more High Templar. He actually moved his High Templar from his natural, so he's very vulnerable to drops right now, but Boxer a little bit nervous of this huge army, is not going to be doing any drops at this moment. Squirtle again trying to take that 3rd base. This time his army in position to defend it.
Oh, he's just now building the first Ghost. I thought he added already a few earlier when he completed his robotics, but he did, his Ghost Academy, but he did not. He's timing them with the Murberry's reactor, and they should be out in time to, well, actually they might cutting it a little bit close because Squirtle's on the move right now. With 170 supply against 180.
There we go. Stim a little bit too early for Boxer. Guardian Shield goes up. Ooh, bad
force fields. Really well done by Boxer.
A lot of storms in this army, and like you said, there's no ghosts.
And he doesn't have any upgrades at all. Don't forget about that. We have Boxer on 2-1 while Squirtle is on 0-0. But the 3rd base, he's cut off. He can't defend the 3rd base. A nice force kill to trap all the SCVs.
And Squirtle takes a supply lead here, but the problem is he has no answer for Boxer's army, which is barreling down in his front. He's warping in High Templar here, but that's not going to be enough. They're not going to have enough energy for Storm immediately.
The Colossus just dies. He's completely caught out of position, trying to reach the main army of Squirtle, but no chance of that happening.
It cuts off all the medevacs. Great feedbacks from Squirtle. And his army, though, is not really arriving. He's actually being distracted by the ghosts right now. Oh, this is looking really bad for Squirtle. He still doesn't have any High Templar with Storms. And Boxer actually retreating here after taking out the Nexus.
Without the Medivacs, he can't escape. He did have only 4 of them anyways, but he has the problem that his army is already really, really hurt. And Squirtle taking the supply lead now.
Very
lost
true.
his base, though.
He killed all the ghosts. There's only 1 ghost left. Has enough for 1 EMP. But man, if Squirtle can just get 1 key storm off on that army, Boxer is going to be really hurting.
The important thing for Boxer is that he has 2 starports with reactor, so right now he can get 4 medivacs at a time, and he really needs them.
Yes, he really does.
the right side of the map, we have another base for Squirtle. He is on 2 bases again.
He's got a lot of High Templar there. Not enough energy for Storm just yet, but he's getting close. This is a really bad position for Squirtle to engage, but he forced another stim. These units so low on hit points, not a single one in the green, almost all of them in the red. Nice feedback! But not the best place to engage for Squirtle. He needs to stop trying to break up this ramp right now.
You can't see it on stream, but Boxer's army is really, really hurt. All his units are in the red or the orange. This is horrible for Boxer. He really needs some time to regain his hit points on all those bio units. Those medivacs have to work fast. Boxer is getting +3 attack and +2 armor.
Here we go. A Storm is ready. His High Templar not split right now. And he gets EMP'd on both of them.
Very well done by Boxer, pulling ahead in supply once again. He's 23 supply ahead, and if he's able to get those upgrades while Squirtle is still on 0-0, not even adding a forge, I just can't understand that. Well, he can't afford it right now. That's his main problem. And Boxer still has a lot of minerals and gas banked up.
And finally, the Nexus of Squirtle at the natural has been finished, but he's not actually transferred his probes. They're now finally transferring his probes.
A forge, finally.
Yeah, a forge coming up as well. He's also trying to switch into Colossi. Scan takes out that Observer, and Boxer's army almost fully healed now. It's getting very close to being fully healed. Right now, the Templar count is 7, and I'm trying to find out exactly how many Storms he's got stored up. It looks like he's probably got about 6 to 8.
Stalkers at the bottom right being killed by Boxer's army.
Oh my god, all of those units with less than 10 hit points left. Every single one of those Marines that was killing that little harassment there.
He's finally able to get that command center back into position. 200 supply. Boxer is maxed out, getting personal cloaking for the ghosts. 9 Marines at a time, halfway done with a +3 attack and the armor upgrade.
Yeah, it's looking really bad for Squirtle. Despite the fact that a few key storms could change everything, he's just not able to engage. Boxer knows that, and Boxer's actually controlled this high ground area. You will never, ever, ever be able to storm an army that's on high ground like this. It just will not happen.
All the medivacs don't have any energy left at all. They had to do a lot of work in order to heal that army, and it's still not fully healed yet. Walking into that position with a few of his units. The Marauder takes down one of the... actually, he doesn't. The High Templar survives.
Yeah, right now the High Templar count at about 7 still.
4 ghosts.
Yeah, 4 ghosts out on the map. And Squirtle, closing being maxed, you know, he's almost maxed out at this point, but still no upgrades. Like you're saying, Boxer's at 3-2. And he is going to crush this army if he engages it just right. Squirtle's going to try to break up the ramp. I think maybe a mistake.
And where are the EMPs? Trying to get to his opponent's High Templar, and a monster EMP, killing the energy of all of them. And this is the cue for Boxer. He wants to end it right now. The force fields are cutting his army in half, but he needs to be careful where to engage. He will try to end the game right here, because he knows his opponent does not have the energy for storms. Moving in, the Colossus die.
Yeah, this is just it. I mean, he could not deal with the ghosts. Really good storms, though, and actually, Squirtle turning the battle around very quickly with those storms. Nice snipes going on. The ghosts doing the best they can. The Colossus doing a ton of damage while the Vikings were out of position. The ghosts themselves being cloaked here, doing a ton of damage, and Squirtle now 20 supply down, but he's still way behind in upgrades. His Observer is out. Will he be able to keep it alive? That is the question.
Squirtle able to dodge the EMP of his opponent with a few High Templars. As it seems, Boxer was able to hit 4 of them with the first EMP that he used, but the upgrade are still in Boxer's advantage. He lost a lot of units though, still ahead in supply with 20.
Yeah, Squirtle moving his probes up to the top left base, but right now Squirtle still, you know, even though he's down in supply, Boxer's army could die to basically 2 storms right now, so he's got to be very careful how he engages it. The ghost count right now for Boxer only at 2. He's got 4 more on the way. 2 of those about to pop, so he's going to have 4 ghosts out when he wants to attack next, but his medevacs are energy starved. In fact, I'd actually really like to see Boxer add a few medevacs into his composition with how things are going for him. I think that would be very important and very useful for him.
Exactly, that engagement in the mid-game where Boxer lost his medevacs and had to stim his army over and over again in order to escape, where he killed the Nexus. That was basically the most important thing in this game right now, because it forced Boxer's army down to only 10 to 30 hit points with every single Marine and Marauder.
Oh, look at this!
And he's still suffering from that.
Almost EMPing there.
He's
Didn't have enough energy.
Suffering from that, but now
you're
he
right.
finally has the Marines and Marauders back to the green.
Yeah, things are looking green for Boxer right now. The upgrades for Boxer, 3-2 with +3 armor about to finish. Only 1-1 right now for Squirtle. +2 for weapons about to finish. +2 armor just now starting for Squirtle. Squirtle doing a great job turtling with this High Templar though. Because there's that single ramp at the right base, Boxer cannot break up that because he's just going to warp, or not warp and storms, the Kydron amulet's gone, but drop some storms on the army, and then of course afterwards just sit back and keep his Nexus alive and continue to remax. Boxer needs to do something about the top left base. That's something he's completely neglected. In fact, I don't even think he scouted it.
He's way too passive.
Yeah, he's way too passive right now. For a while, it made sense because he didn't really have units that had hit points, but now he's got a lot of units with hit points. He's actually down on supply. He needs to do something because Squirtle's even taking the top left base as well.
The main problem is that Squirtle is now getting upgrades, and if Boxer waits for too long, Squirtle will even out the upgrades, and that's a huge problem for Boxer. Now he has the advantage. His armor is way stronger than the army of Squirtle, but he has a fully healed army, so why not try to attack and make use of that?
Oh, nice snipes there on those High Templar. I really like this. Boxer repeatedly scanning, using his Vikings to clean up observers, and Squirtle down to no observers again. He's got one about to pop out, but he is just not able to engage like he wants to without the observers in his army. Boxer just with a huge clump of units that also, frankly, are not the best. He's got 12 Vikings out right now, and his opponent only with 3 Colossi, but his army, his ground army, is what is the real problem. He may even want to trade these Vikings, do some harassment with them. He's just, like you said, being way too passive right now.
Even a drop play with one medivac would just help him so much because Squirtle is just expanding over and over again to the left.
And Boxer's not even going to try to kill the expansions right at his doorstep. He's not even going to try for it. A storm might hit all these Vikings. Close call.
+2 armor set up for Squirtle. Finally Boxer engaging, but he has to stim in, he has to move in if he wants to make that one count. The Colossi are about to die. There's the stim by Boxer. He's moving in the storms, hitting the Zealots instead of the Terran army. Boxer is 50 supply ahead.
Yeah, a terrible place for Squirtle to gauge. I cannot even fathom why he thought that was a good idea. And now Boxer's going to come through here and finish him off by the looks of things.
Using another stamina, trying to go for the attack. He should just try to hunt that down, trying to flank his opponent. A storm hits all of the Marines, takes them down, but the rest of the army is taken out of position.
Squirtle with no blink, not able to retreat with his Stalkers. He may have a nice...
He's going for the expansion, for the natural in the main base. He knows that he can't attack it to the choke point.
Yeah, he's very smart to do that. That's the only thing that Squirtle had going for him. I don't care about that base. It's almost mined out anyways. I'm just going to go and kill your production. Squirtle looks like he wants to try to do some sort of trade, but I mean, there's a planetary here. There's enough units coming out. And I think it's curtains for Squirtle at this point.
He's down to 120 supply. Boxer now moving up the ramp into the main base. There are no storms available for Squirtle right now, and the piling gets killed, unpowering 4 of those warp gates. Boxer is about to finish him.
And Squirtle with tons of resources in the bank can't spend them while his gateways are unpowered. He's going to try to go for Boxer's main base, but with the amount of production Boxer has there, reinforcements alone might be enough. Look at this! EMP on every High Templar. Well, almost everyone. There's only one left.
That hurt. That hurt a lot, and the army is trying to take on Squirtle's last surviving units, while the main force of Boxer is still roaming free in the main base of Squirtle, taking down every single production building. All the gateways are dying. There's no way for Squirtle to reinforce this.
No way. 4 gateways being made for Squirtle. He's trying to reproduce. He's got 2,000 minerals in the bank, and it's not from bad macro, it's just from not having gateways. He still has 2 fully mining bases right now.
He's trying to rebuild his gateways at the left side of the map, but I don't think that Boxer will give him the time that he needs in order to build up that army.
He needs Templar now to storm, but he doesn't have any. Actually, he's got 4, but they don't have enough energy to storm just yet, and they're not in the right spot to defend his bases. He's got a few, by the looks of things. Actually, I'm trying to find his Templar. I don't know where they're hiding. They're just scattered around the map.
He can only reinforce. There they are.
There they are. And yeah, this is where he wants them to be, actually. But
a lot of storms, but the snipes kill the Templar. They are assassinated. That's GG.
There we go.
There we're back.
So I don't know what happened there. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but yeah, Boxer just... I feel like Squirtle, in some ways, played that better than Boxer. Like, again, he was extremely behind, and esports, hashtag Team Liquid, hashtag SC2.fi. Just had to give that a shout. By the way, speaking of Twitter, follow me on Twitter at ProxyWolf, follow Kaldor at Kaldor, that's KHALDOR, and of course follow GOMTV on Twitter as well. But anyway, I feel like Squirtle in some ways out-multitasked Boxer. Boxer was too passive. He was able to almost come back just like he did against Zazan. It's almost as if Squirtle plays best when he's behind, but he didn't have the upgrades, and he did the terrible engagement there at the end. Why would he fight when his Zealots cannot get service area on Boxer's army? Why would you do that?
Yeah, rushing into the next game, and I would really love... Let's talk a little bit later about about the decision of Squirtle to skip upgrades in order to have the gas and the resources to get Storm in addition to the Colossi. But well, for now we are heading into the next game, and it's going to be Genius against Teja, another Protoss versus Terran, which will give us the chance to talk about that. Belcher Beach is going to be the next match 8. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. This is GSL Up and Down.